Killian, thanks a million for joining us today. Thanks for chatting to us.
My pleasure.
Congratulations on the film 71. Now, let's get the inevitable question out of the way first. On a scale of 1 to murder, how much do you now hate, loathe and detest journalists who come in and ask you about certain fizzy orange drinks?
Oh, yes. I love it. No, I enjoy it immensely. I was in Colombia recently and I walked into a hostel and the first thing that happened, I swear to God, was someone shouted, "Hey Tommy, how's that fizzy orange working out for you?" across the swimming pool in Colombia. So I'm used to it at this point.
It's never gonna leave you.
Yeah, I wonder what I'll have to do to end that.
Well, that's I'm finished with it now. That's us moving swiftly onwards. As I say, congratulations on the film. We had the Irish premiere last night. Great response from the crowd. Did you make it along to the party afterwards?
I did indeed. I also made it to the film.
That's also important. Yes, of course, yes.
Are we talking about the after party or the movie here? I did, yes, I attended the aftermath.
You actually did something at the start of the film because obviously you were introduced and you did like a thumbs up and a wink and a point at somebody in the crowd. And I'm wondering, do people do that just to pretend that they know somebody in the crowd?
So funny.
Yeah. Or did you actually know somebody?
Anyone you know, and you're just pointing and thumbs up.
Yeah.
That's gas. Maybe I should start doing that. Just generally in life, just
all
pointing and waving at people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had some family in actually.
Okay.
I had my sister and my brother and a few aunts and a cousin.
So was it your first time seeing the film as well?
That was my first time seeing the movie, yeah.
What did you make of it?
I actually enjoyed it. It'd be so funny if I said, no, I think it's shit.
It's terrible. It's awful.
No, I actually really enjoyed it. Normally you find the whole process of watching a movie or the TV show when you're in it is, sort of physically nauseating. But I actually was really into this. I don't know if that's because I'm not really in it that much. But
well, no, you have an important part to play,
yes,
of course.
Thank you, of course. But yeah, no, I thought it was really compelling. Like it's very intense, kind of from the beginning, and it's a thriller. It's a chase movie, so it doesn't slow down at any point, and there's nothing. What's the word? There's nothing sort of unnecessary.
No fat on it.
No fat, exactly.
And it's very claustrophobic then as well.
Yeah, and I love being claustrophobic.
Yeah, exactly. Is he locked in the toilet again? Yes, he wants to be there. It's fine. Now, your character is obviously from Belfast originally,
yes.
But in terms of the accent, did you have a gateway sentence, or how did you prepare for nailing that?
Yeah, I mean, you suppose I spent a lot of time listening to stuff, and then Marty McCann was there obviously, and Marty's from Belfast, and so there's a couple of rehearsals, and then he sort of leaned in and said, "Look, it's sounding good," and then you kind of just go from there. I mean, I think Irish actors, I think you'll naturally have an ability to do accents from the country where you're from. Sorry, I need to say that sentence again. That makes no sense.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I think I know.
I think you'll naturally have an affinity with accents from your country because you've been hearing them.
Yeah.
To greater and lesser degrees all your life. It's more when you're doing completely foreign accents that you have to start from scratch. So I think you've got a foundation already, and then you just spend a lot of time listening.
So obviously your movie career is taken off as well as the TV side of things as well, and you were in Calvary. I looked in my notes. He was in that film.
That's awesome, and you've got some notes.
Yeah, but in terms of John Michael McDonagh's comments recently about the film, obviously being in it, and he was sort of trying to distance himself in a way of describing it as being an Irish film. How did you feel about that? Because obviously so many of the cast are Irish, so many of the crew
John,
as well.
John's a personal friend, but John's very extremely intelligent, extremely talented man, and I think while I don't agree with a lot of what he said, I think at the same time, I think honest opinions, you got to pay some attention to them. I think if you have an hysterical reaction, you're missing an opportunity, and I think maybe it's probably worth debating why Irish people don't go and see Irish movies. That has to be an interesting thing to wonder, rather than kind of, I don't know. I felt. I mean, I live in London, so I'm not aware of all the reaction, but I kind of felt like people were missing an opportunity to actually discuss things like adults, rather than sort of getting upset about it,
And then back to the TV side of things. Obviously, the premiere of Love Hate was on last night as well. That's why I didn't go to. I wasn't not invited to the after party. I decided not to go myself. But it got a great response as well, just under 1 million viewers. So that's obviously something to be very proud of.
That's news, man. That's interesting to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
And no, spoiler alert, not for you because you're in it, obviously. But for
You're not
anybody
talking about
watching,
Game of Thrones, are you?
No, cover your ears, okay? He was a ghost all along. But you spend most of the episode lying on your back, and it was the best, I think, in a coma performance I've seen since
Thanks very much.
either Uma Thurman in Kill Bill or Christy Phelan in Fair City. But how do you get into character for a role like that?
I just get heavily sedated beforehand. No, it is surprisingly tough actually having to lie there, be still the whole time. I don't know. I just spend a lot of time sleeping for a few weeks before we shoot, and that gives me a good sort of sensory memory of what the experience is like.
Can we expect Tommy to wake up anytime soon over the course of the series?
I guess you'll just have to wait and see.
We'll just have to. Everything was Tommy's dream, essentially.
Yeah, basically, that's what ultimately Stewart is working towards.
And
but I do play unconsciousness pretty well. I'm happy to say that.
Oh no, I was saying it was phenomenal.
Thank you.
Oscar coming your way for TV. That doesn't work.
2 years of drama school.
Yeah. One final question. Dilemma that we have. We ask everybody that we interview: would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck?
I'd go for the horse-sized duck.
For any particular reason?
I just think dealing with 100 would be complicated.
Laborious.
Laborious.
I'd be tired.
I don't have that much time, man.
Yeah.
You know, I just give me the horse.
I live in London.
Duck.
I'm on a tight schedule.
Yeah, basically.
One thing to
I can
fight.
deal with one thing, but 100 things is a bit much.
That's perfect. No, thanks a million, Killian. Thanks for chatting to us today. Cheers.
My pleasure. Thanks.